Of course, here in Seeds of Love, we all about love. We all about love. And Justin and his beautiful wife is here with us today, Cynthia. And we're gonna talk about their marriage. They gave us carte
Uh-oh.
blanche. Yeah, they gave us
Uh-oh.
carte blanche to talk about their marriage. So of course, for me, I'm the funny guy. Fabi got all the real questions, but for me, I
Oh.
just want to know: do you both squeeze the toothpaste tube the same way, or is it a battle in the bathroom when you guys have to brush your teeth together? So, some of us squeeze from the top, some of us squeeze from the bottom. What's the tale for the two of
Even
you?
even the roll of toilet paper, huh?
Oh my goodness.
My
Is it
God.
up? Is it top or bottom?
For me, it goes top in, and for her, she likes the bottom, and she still don't even realize it to this day. She don't pay attention to it, but for me, I'm very aware of it, and it bothers me. It does something to my soul. I don't know.
I didn't even realize it until he said something.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah, I
You
like
know,
mine from the bottom.
oh yeah, see, I ain't rocking with
See,
you.
I'm a top guy. I'm a top guy. Leave it on the top. Just let it roll. Let it do its thing. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Exactly,
Right, Justin?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
But
So,
Monday, with this season, we are introducing a new segment,
mhm,
and we are introducing a small business spotlight segment.
mhm,
Woo!
So
Come
mhm.
on,
where
somebody.
where we give shout outs to small business, and I can't help but to notice Cynthia's shirt. Because as a realtor myself, and then I heard Justin said he sold a home, and I'm like, okay, we have some small business in this house. So definitely give yourselves a shout out. This week, the shout out will be our guest.
So, you know what's crazy, Cynthia? I'm gonna let you give yourself a shout out. I'm sitting
okay.
here, and it just dawned to me that every single one of you are realtors, including my wife. So,
What?
Wow.
yeah, yeah. So this is nice. I'm in good company, man.
I
I'm
know. When
definitely in
I
good
saw her
company.
shirt, I was like, oh,
What?
yeah, this is going to be maybe
This
this
is gonna
is
be lit.
yeah, and again, new year, so maybe this is an affirmation for my real estate business.
There you
Mm.
go.
So
There you go. So, Cynthia,
that's the
tell us a
sign
little
I
bit
needed her
about
shirt.
tell us a little bit about your business.
I am a real estate agent in Pennsylvania. Um, Probably about 6 months now. Fairly new, but 6 months in the business. I had my first closing. I helped a first-time home buyer. We came to the table. They only had to put 1,200 down. We came with
Hey,
12,000 in
Congratulations.
first-time home buyer grants. And it was a blessing to help. There were another married couple. I'm still friends with them. We connected right away.
what was it like when you got that call or that email or that text that says clear to close? Because I know
Oh my God, I
it's
was
every
so
realtor is
happy.
like, ugh.
No, I was so happy. I believe maybe I was in the car. I was like, yes. I was like screaming. I was so excited.
Congratulations.
Money
And
in the
where can
bank.
money in the bank? And where can people find your business information, like your pages, or how can people get in touch with you?
Cyn Talbott Homes on Instagram and
Yep.
TikTok. Um, I'm gonna shout that out because I'm the one that put her on the social media. I do her page and
Yeah.
everything, but she's on there for sure, and she's active now too. So,
Yep.
Maybe you need to do my page too, because
oh,
Lord,
we could
it's been
definitely talk. You got the content creating realtor on the line.
Listen, this
Yep.
is all Dustin does. I'm telling you, he's really really good at putting together content. So definitely reach out to him for that.
And giving me more confidence because I'm so behind the scenes. I still do healthcare on the side too. I come from healthcare and taking care of people and being behind the scenes. He's on the social media, on the podcast and talking. So him helping me with my social media has brought me out of my shell, more confidence when I'm talking. I'm at networking events, I'm meeting people, I'm scanning my digital business card.
Them pops.
Just excited to explain what I'm doing, excited to meet new people and be on social media because I always shied away from the social media part. So he really helps a lot.
Got her business cards coming. You'll have
Yeah.
the first set of business cards that you're really proud of. We did a rebranding going into the new year.
Yeah,
I
pictures.
got some business cards as well. We just, got the merch, little by little, just telling
Yeah.
our story, being able to control the narrative. Super excited. That's like a lot of our story too was, because there's some questions on there,
This
man.
is what
And
I
we was
wanted to get at. As
Yeah.
I listened to Cynthia describing how her husband step up and where she is weak, this is where you are strong and you are
Yeah.
able to take your knowledge and use it to help bring her along to where she needs to be. This is beautiful. That's what I love because when I hear that, this is what goes on between my wife and I usually at home. We kind of look at each other and know, okay, this is for you and this is for me. Like we know where we fit, right? And I listened to you describing that, and as you were describing it, Justin, you didn't say it, but I could see it from the screen. Her face light up. Her face just light up. That's how wonderful she feels about the fact that you were able to step up for her and really help her in this particular position. So listen, guys, we really want to dive into the conversation for today. We're going to take a quick break and we will be right back. And you know what, Fabi, I don't know, have you heard the new rap song of Seeds of Love?
I have.
Oh, we're going to give them a little tease. So listen to this and we will be right back.
Let's go.
Children up with all you come gather around. I got a story to tell. It's about two cool cats in town. Mondy and Fabi, they speaking truth like no other. Spreading love and positivity. It's like they're undercover. Got a podcast focusing to love, rock, and knowledge and vibes. Exploring life's mysteries, taking you on a wild ride. From deep conversations to silly jokes and laughter. They're taking over the airwaves, man. They're the podcast masters. Seeds of love grow through the beats and rhymes. Mondy and Fabi spreading love one podcast at a time. Tune in, vibe out, let the words inspire. When it comes to hip hop and love, they never tie, never tie.
Yes, so welcome back, guys. We have Cynthia and Justin here today, and I mean, we're amazed to start to kick off the new season with you guys. And so as we're talking about your relationships, I have a question because as Justin and Cynthia were talking about their lives together, I don't know about you, Monday, but I saw how proud Justin was of Cynthia too. It wasn't just Cynthia showing how happy she is because of his support, but you could tell that he was proud of what she was able to do. And so I have a question before we go deep into the other questions, but my questions, because Cynthia mentioned that she still does healthcare on the side. And so, and I know you guys are married. And I'm sure most of America, none of us really can survive on one income. I'm a dual career myself. But what is it like to be a dual career agent with a family?
I had to learn to balance and time block. I'm still learning time blocking. First, getting up and putting time for myself first, so I can be my best self. And then we have 2 children, being mom, doing school, all that. And then I take care of 2 elderly patients. That's appointments, that is food shopping, that is cleaning, cooking, laundry, and then I come home and do my cooking, my cleaning, our laundry, our food shopping. But I was telling him earlier, I said, I just find little times throughout the day where I can fit in, like if I'm reading, then I'm making my phone calls, calling leads, emailing, just finding that time and just making it work. I hear some people like, I have kids and it's kind and not to be insensitive, but kind of excuses because you can make it work. And then I try to watch a lot of things of other married women. This one married woman, she's a business owner. She has 4 little ones. She homeschool, like she's a stay-at-home mom too, and runs her business in the other room. And I'm like, if she can do it, and I have a 15-year-old and we have a 15-year-old and a 2-year-old, I'm like, I can do it. And every day I
Absolutely.
say, I can do it. I can do the hard stuff. I can get it done. I can get it done. And that's what I tell myself all day. I can get it done. I can still make time for myself, still make time for my marriage, date night, do all that. And you can get it done.
So the spark, what made you guys first go, yep, that's the one? And, and seriously, does that lovey-dovey spark still hit you? Or do you guys still have all of this stuff going on?
And I also want to know how long you guys been married, because because I can still feel the love oozing out of this this screen right now between the two of you. And I know, Justin, you love to talk. You love to talk, but to have Justin sit there and he's silent and his wife is actually taking the lead and answering the questions, this is mind-boggling for me. This is really nice, right? Because anytime I'm together with this guy, I'm telling you, he can hold a conversation from the moment we get together till the time I say, "Oh, I mean, I'll see you later," right? But he's a good brother. But so tell us, how long you guys been together, and what was it that when you first met, my co-host just asked, Fabi asked, what was it that made you say, you know what, I think he's the one, she's the one?
Well, listen, man, we're going on 8 years. June 12th will be our 8 years being together.
Married.
He remembered the
being,
anniversary.
being married, but she's always gonna say we've been together 10 years.
We have been.
So, praise the Lord on that. All right, we've been together 10 years. But yeah, like, it's and kind of what Mondy was saying was like, I'm silent right now. Like you just wouldn't really understand the true joy that I have right now in this moment. Because like Mondy, I really don't know if just for some context, like probably around the time when I was working with you and your mom and your family, I was a realtor, but I was a realtor feeling all alone by myself. My wife didn't want anything to do with real estate. She thought, I was, not, she didn't understand like the time I was putting in. She didn't think it was like making sense. Why are you, at all these different things, and our marriage, like, and I know we'll get into it, but like, it was the first time in my marriage where I'm like, I don't know if this will work. And it's just deep because I really didn't, I really didn't know what was going on at that moment because I was so laser focused with this new lifestyle, these new things that I wanted to experience, like, setting goals and, just building yourself up as, in your business, whether you already have a business, you're in real estate, whatever it is, right? But whatever process you're willing to engage in, for more in life. So I was like really determined, and I really felt like, man, if anybody comes in between this, they don't support me, which means they don't love me, which means, so saying all that to say this, it was like I didn't think, you know, I did not think in that moment we were really gonna make it. And I thought she didn't love me or respect me. And it would be hard to express this. But now the fact that like we overcame that season and she's literally she's beside me. She's not, behind me. She's not over there. Like she's literally beside me. We're on this call. And it's not even about me and the things that I'm doing anymore. It's about, what has been formed in our marriage and our, you know, perception on social media, who we're connecting with professionally, who we're networking with. And like it's just mind-boggling. And like I would say what what ignited that flame was her having my back and saying, not like, oh, I want to do this for you, but I really want to do this and I feel like I can.
You know,
And
Justin, I love your vulnerability. I love the fact that you can be so authentic in the way you answer the question. And I want to hear from you, Cynthia, as you listen to your husband describing this dark time, yet as dark as it was also a time that you guys were able to come through together and really make something out of it, right?
Mhm.
What was going on through your mind as you were experiencing this dark moment with him? And what helped you to actually realize what is the big picture, if I can put it that way, and what really helped you to come out of that and say, you know what, I'm gonna really support my husband on this.
I think for me, okay, so when he started getting into real estate and working on his business, Just Bless Media, he would be in the office all day, probably sometimes 6 days a week, sometimes
so,
7 days a week. And he would be in the office. And then when he would come home, I would get the tired. It kind of felt like the leftovers. So even I didn't even I started it was starting to build up like resentment, um, bitterness, and then I didn't respect him honestly because I felt like he put all the time over there and then I didn't even want to see what he was doing because he put all that into events and his business and everything else and um then I felt at home like me, the kids, we got the leftovers. So I think when I stopped focusing on him and what he wasn't doing and what I wanted him to do and all these expectations and I started focusing on my stuff, how I'm talking, how I'm responding, how I'm treating him, my heart, like really focusing on my heart and healing and doing my work, which people talk about when you're dating or before you get married, do your work. Like do your work, work
Mm-hmm.
on yourself. I never
Mm-hmm.
did that.
Mm,
I never did that. I always kind of, you can say, focused on him and what he wasn't doing. And I
mm,
never turned the finger on me like, Sin, you're not respecting your tone, technique, all that is off. Your timing is off. You're putting him down like and in the moment I was so like had so much resentment, didn't really wasn't really thinking, but then I started and then prayer, like I started getting convicted and the Lord started showing me my stuff. And probably the beginning of last year or this year, last year,
You're a new
I
year, girl. Happy
first
New
day.
Year.
No, the beginning of the beginning of last year, probably for the first, I'm not even lying, January, February, March, probably like reflecting and crying and not even crying about anything about him. It was, oh my God, how did I become like this resentful and this bitter and this unforgiving and I'm not this person and I started not recognizing myself along with having our child. I think I was going through postpartum as well.
Mhm.
Now looking back, I was definitely going through postpartum depression
wow.
and um yeah, it was a lot. I was so blinded to what he was doing. I honestly didn't even care what he was doing. I just wanted him to come home. I was going through it, but then he was in the office going through it too. So as we both were in our own little seasons, we were drifting apart.
Thank you so much for being so raw and being so honest, both of you guys. Um, and that's something Monday and I, well, mostly Monday, um, speak about here on Seeds of Love a lot. Is about doing the work and
Mm,
especially in marriage because you want to seek therapy or however it is that you are working on yourself so that because divorce is expensive So it's best to,
Mm.
we had an episode about that. So it's best to, do the work while you are together and figuring it out. But you guys were talking, you both talked about, a point where it was really low in your marriage. I want to ask about, can you guys share a time when you felt on top of the world as a couple?
Now, you know,
All last year, 2023, the whole year, we kind of felt
on top of the
on
world.
top of the world, closer.
I would say like not all the whole year, maybe like, like towards that like March, April, like when we moved, like
Yeah,
that.
okay. So the beginning of last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what was
So
it?
go ahead,
What?
Monday.
Yeah. No, I'm reading your mind right now, Fabi. We want to hear a little bit of the details. What was it that finally made it click for the two of you that made you feel okay? We got this now.
Like this is it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Pro- I think when she made the decision to want to like, because for me it was never about like it's because I don't want it to seem like, oh dang, you hard, just like, you was only going to love her unless she became a realtor. Like that's deep. But like, no, it had nothing to do with real estate. I never even made the suggestion. She's the one that we were at an event, and like I just kept bringing her around real estate, around the different things I was doing. I became the marketing director for my brokerage. So I
Congratulations.
thank you. So I was just always, top of mind with realtors. And then like as I'm growing professionally, realizing that, one of my biggest value adds is to continue to learn and study my target audience, which at the time was real estate agents. So I like, I started building all of these relationships with realtors, and she was just always there to the point where, you know, she came to me and said, I think I want to get my real estate license. Here's the classes. Boom, it costs this much. It starts this day. Um, we got the money for it. Boom. Like I think that's what I want to do. I could do it. And from that moment, it was just like now I got a new direction, a new mission, new goals, because now my goal is to make sure that she succeeds, to make sure that anything, because too, I'm at the point now where it's like my second year in business, and it's like I I was better than my first year. I was better than when I just started, because it's like, as time you grow, you get more wisdom.
Mhm.
But if anything, it was time for me to start kind of like buying back more time by, reinventing yourself, so to speak. So no matter what, like I needed somebody there in work wise to be able to help get me to the next level. And it's just it's deep because she was the one where it wasn't that she said, I want to become a real estate agent. She said, I want to fill this gap. I see that you're doing something. I know that it can pay off, and I want to be by your side. And I don't know, it could be a couple things in here too. Like I still don't know, and I can't wait to find out. But like I don't know if she's seen like and in her mind this was ever a thing where like I started to work with other women to help them build their social media. And her cousin got me into real estate. She's a woman. So just like putting that out there, like, I think a part of like our beef at the time was not that like I never questioned that she thought like maybe she doesn't think that I love her or whatever. Like I think she knows that I love her, but I think she started to really see me in the mix professionally with different women, and like that's kind of where some of our biggest problems stem. So the reason why I felt on top of the world and why I feel on top of the world is because like, yo, this is Bonnie and Clyde. This is Jay and Beyonce. Like, this is real. Like, this is deep what we can do together, what we're doing together, and the fact that, you know, she's on here now with me. Like, it's just a go. Like, what's up? 2024, we are lit. Seeds of love, where y'all at? Let's go.
No, I
And so,
definitely.
Justin, I'm loving this, Fabi. I'm really loving this. And so, here's the other caveat for me. Um, Now the two of you get to spend a lot of time together working.
Mhm.
And sometimes in relationships, that can be a detriment to some couples because they're spending
Absolutely.
so much time together. What do you guys do to help to separate the professional life from I'm still a husband and I'm still a wife, and we need to cultivate that aspect of the relationship, not as business partners now, but as lovers, as fathers, as mothers. What do you do? How do you keep that distinction, that
I think
line?
I think though it's like with where we're at and kind of how we live, it's a lifestyle thing, right? So it's like, you know, it's not that we're just talking business and we're, like I feel like it's it's way bigger than that. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Like, and I feel like she's the one that brings the consistency, the balance, because she'll make sure that like we're going out different places. And two, like, it's not all about just going out and having a date night at like a work event type of situation. I could, yeah, that's, like we do spend our own time
Yeah,
way,
away from everything.
yeah, but even there, when we're like cultivating our relationship, it might lead to business right there. You know what I'm saying? Just because of like, we're just really in that season of like, it's happening. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying?
No, I totally agree. But I mean, I know you were explaining it. Do you have anything to add in, Cynthia? Like, what's your
Um, so for us, because we do other things too. So we do real estate together, but he has the Just Bless Media, which is his business that he started. So he's doing that. Like he might do that the be he might do that the whole morning with his VA, and he's on meetings and he's on calls. So that's his own thing. And if he needs me for anything, but that's his own thing. That's something he built. That's
what is
something.
your thing? That is what is
Yep.
Cynthia's thing?
So that's what I was gonna get to. I wrote down like you still have to have your own life,
Mm-hmm.
like your own life apart. So while he's doing his own thing, I'm out, I'm working too because I'm doing the clients during the day. Like, I'm making sure they're good. And then I take time for myself. So I take my son to school, I take our oldest to school, the baby to daycare, and then I go do my nails. I do like self-care. Or I go hang with the girls. Uh, right? Go out to dinner, go out to lunch, something, go meet up with other moms, take our little ones out. I do a lot of mommy and me stuff with other women and other moms. So making sure that I'm feeding like what's my passion, having my own friends and having get a life too. Like your life, my life, we're one, yes. But it can't just be us
Like
and
all
that's
the
it
time.
all the time. Like he has his own friends and talks about their own stuff. He goes out with his friends. I go out with my friends. We have friends together we go out with. So it's balancing it.
I think it's just the
Absolutely.
communication. You know what I mean? Like we have really good communication. I feel like if we had any strengths that I wanted to highlight, that it's like, yo, we have this. Like me and her, we have but after like going on 7 years, like you get to know one another. And now the season we're in, like, yeah, there was a season of opposition, but the season we're in is like, sometimes I feel like, yo, am I being tricked? Like, is she trying to play me because she studies me?
Mm-hmm.
And like at one time there might have been like motives on why she would do things or the way she would do things, but it's like for instance, this past year, it's just like, yo, you are good. Like, I don't know if I'm your prospect, you trying to sell me on something, but like, you are just, you come through for the kid. Like, I don't know.
She's been learning. while you thought, she wasn't listening to, although you guys had this difference, but I'm sure she was picking up on some of the things that
Yeah.
you were doing. So all of this time she was soaking it up. And
Y'all good
now
on
that it's
this
her,
podcast, man. I
now
like
that it's
y'all,
her
man.
turn.
I think knowing too, when we got when you get married, that first year, and now we're going on 8 years, we're not the same people. So what he likes changed, what I like changed, who I'm around changed, how I think changed, how I do things changed. So every year is constantly learning each other, constantly like studying, like he said, studying, learning, and being open. Um, I think that's the key, like being open, like really being open, and prayer. Like I really pray, like, Lord, show me his heart. Like show me his heart, show him my heart, that we would know each other. Because I was just reading this thing, we don't have to be alike. We don't have to think alike. We don't have, but we should think together, and we should try to think together, but we don't have to think alike. We are complete opposite. And I think going back to the first question is that's what kind of drew me to him. Like we are opposite. So he would be so passionate. We met in church. He would be so passionate doing ministry. Everything he did, it was so passionate. And his love for God, his love for people, his love serving and doing ministry, that's when I was like, that's the one.
Like
Because
that.
he loved just everything he did was passion. And then when I was around him, I was comfortable and I felt safe. So it was like
Mm.
my safe place, someone who would challenge me, someone who is passionate, complete opposite. So that's when I was like, okay, yeah, I think that's the one.
But
I, I
no, go ahead, Monday.
no, go ahead. I
No,
just
because
I love how both of them are able to bring
hmm
their independence and unity. In other words, balancing individuality and togetherness. To me, it's an art, and to hear both of them, they figured out
Definitely.
a way to make it happen, to stay deeply connected to one another. It's amazing to me. What I wanted to know, because it takes work, and I love how Cynthia puts it. What I wanted to know, or I think my listeners would want to know, um, there's something called resilience. And when people are married, right, after you experience the honeymoon phase, now you are truly exposed to what marriage truly is. And then that's where the resilience have to be cultivated. For the two of you, can you share perhaps some strategies that you along the way have been able to employ to help you bounce back from tough times and keep your love resilient? I know, Cynthia, you mentioned the fact that you're a church goer, right? So it could be your relationship with God, but is there anything that you guys you can really say, this particular thing or those things that we do are the rituals that really help us to be resilient to face the hard times?
No, I got something for this. This is deep. Like, and even as you say that, I feel like, just kind of like what I'm envisioning is like the first vision I had was like, as soon as you said that, like, what are our practices and rituals that help us um coming into 2024, new season, new year, also another professional transition for me of where I was at the time, my biggest revenue source. So just thinking about like that time, like how did, like, so kind of like what I was seeing is like, recently we've been taking this walk together. It'd be like our afternoon stroll. We'll walk about 2 miles. And, before that, maybe it be something else. But during those times where we're doing something, talking about the next move, talking about the next month, talking about the goals for 3 months, 6 months, um, getting reassurance that like, you know, as far as direction goes, what do you think about this? Okay, well, what do you think about this? Well, I was also thinking about this. And then what about if we did that? And kind of just like really like just like she said, she's been getting to learn my heart, but like for me to really make sure I'm clear on direction and just kind of seeing what could happen, you know, like going through a list of maybe questions about, you know, maybe different situations, just and that's where I feel like in our marriage we've hit a lot of different lows, and the next move hasn't always been the most prevalent move on the list of moves, if that makes sense. You know, we've had multiple situations where it wasn't just one answer or one way to get to the next level, you know. So, and even just thinking it back, there's been like probably like four major times where it's like we had to really like, you know, reconsider everything, you know.
Yeah. I think just thinking back, what made us resilient was really when we would go through it, even if we didn't know what to do next, we would just draw close to each other.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Like we would, okay, we are gonna stick this out. We are gonna draw close to each other, and then we are gonna discern who's the right, what's the right advice, because everyone has an opinion on what we should do. Everyone has an opinion on, oh, I wouldn't put up with this. You shouldn't do this. And it's like, no, like discerning the right voices and God, what do you want us to do next? And just Justin, me and you are going to stick it through no matter what. We're going to stick together and we're going to make it through the storms, sticking together so that nothing can come in and divide us. So I feel like sticking together, like the unity helped us, like the unity part. That no matter what, how we felt, it's just our feelings. We're not always going to feel like that. It's not always going to be like this. It's a season. We're going to make it through. And just knowing that, like self-talk, the right people around us, and like sticking close. Even if we didn't know the next move, just stick together. Like we are a team. We're one.
That's good, yo.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that.
That's
I really
the
love
answer
that.
right there. Everybody,
love
listen to
that.
what she's saying. You know, nah,
Oh.
man, if I could just come in behind that and say,
Hold on.
absolutely,
Hold on tight.
absolutely. Because it's crazy, man, how people will really try to spin you, like,
Mm.
you know, and divide. And it's, you know, whether whichever way you want to look, you know, spiritually, religiously, or just concept wise, like there's always an enemy at hand. And sometimes the enemy is disguised as an angel of light.
Yeah.
And that's like being able to be close and to discern together, like so important.
They were interviewing divorced couples, and they were saying, and if they came up with the reason why a lot of people go for divorce is because they believe a lie. They believe that it's better on the other side. They believe that another relationship is better. They believe, but no, it can be better in your marriage if you both put in the work, if you both are willing to humble yourself and know that, okay, I have to relearn everything. I have to humble myself. I have to apologize. I have to do my work. Oh my goodness. And a lot of the divorced couples said, man, I believed the lie that it was better to divorce and it was better. The grass was greener on the other side. They believed it and they're more miserable. Some, it was just like a study of some people, but some people were like, man, I could have did my work and just made it work inside my marriage.
All right, I could have been cool.
And so you see, what I keep hearing from the two of you, again, this is the hardcore. I love having conversation with mature people because you guys, you articulate it carefully, but you articulate the truth. Marriage takes work.
Yes.
And you can't just base it on just the woman, or base it on, oh, we love each other, we love each other.
Yeah.
No, there's going to be a time when you're going to be challenged, right? The relationship is going to be challenged. But if the two of you are in this for the long haul, and you really truly believe and are passionate about this thing called marriage, you're gonna fight for it. You're gonna fight
Yeah.
for your man. You're gonna
Exactly.
fight for your woman. And when I hear the two of you, that's what I keep gathering. That yes, it takes work. It wasn't easy,
Yeah. No.
but we had to figure this out. But we figured it out together, right, Fabi?
Absolutely. And Cynthia said something that I want to I know we've been kind of serious. I want to line it up a little bit. Cynthia mentioned something about, apologies. And so I wanted to ask you guys is there any hilarious or serious apologies that you've had to dish out? Because we want to know.
I mean, you gotta apologize, every other day in marriage, right? So,
Every day.
Spill the tea.
I
We want to know something that's just like, you're like, you know what? You were right. But it was like something that was funny and we want to dish it out.
I can.
go ahead.
I think. I think for me it would be he would be looking for something, and I will be helping him look for it. But I know I moved it, and I know where I put it.
Oh, wow.
So I'd be like, well, this was like one time. This was a while ago, and I'm like, and then I had to tell him, okay, I'm sorry, like I did move it, like, but he was like, oh my goodness, like you helping me look for I don't know if he remembers, but that I just thought of it.
What?
See,
What was your,
see
I think it
us,
was a
man, we don't
tripod or
remember things like
tripod or
that.
something.
You knew where it was?
Yes, she did.
Not recently. No, not the
This
recent
is
one, not in the
good.
Oh,
trunk. No,
This is
not in the
good.
trunk one, not the recent one. This was a while
I
ago.
still can't find that though.
I don't know where that's at, seriously. Forgot.
So, what is you mentioned something earlier. I think it was Justin who mentioned something earlier. I want to go back to that. It was about working with women. And now that Cynthia is in the industry, I'm sure she knows that, I'm sure she understands how it goes. Matter of fact, I had to stop dating a guy for similar reason because in our conversations he brought up, yeah, if my woman needs to respect me, if we're somewhere together, you can't be in another man's face. There were other red flags, but the whole time I was like, you do know being in people's face is most of my job, right? Because I'm in the people's business. I need to talk to people. Sometimes they don't even know they want to buy a home until I talk to them and explain that
Exactly.
you're paying more in rent than you could, it's about being in people's face. So, has there ever been a time, where you guys had a disagreement about what to post and what not to post?
So we've developed the communication that we have now where she's more carefree and like trust me because otherwise it would be a problem, because she doesn't like to just be tagged in stuff in a photo, even though like on cue she'll be ready for a picture and look better than you all day. But she just sometimes thinks I care about how I look versus how she looks, and it's a lie.
Oh my goodness. No, yeah, sometimes he'll take a picture, he looks great, and I'm like, I look crazy. You just posted it. But
Let's start like an argument.
no, but as far as him posting stuff on social media or liking, because we could all see what we liking. I'm no, this serious. He's never did that where I was uncomfortable. Never.
Okay.
It would just be like, why did you post me? I look crazy. Like, but
No, the one time you was mad, I posted something um at the 90s party with the
Oh yeah, I wasn't there. Oh yeah, I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Let me make it clear that wait, I want to make it clear that
Had
we
women hanging out.
wait, I want to make it clear that we know each other and he's very outspoken. He can meet and he'll meet people and stuff. So the women wasn't an issue because I met them too. And even if I didn't, I wasn't uncomfortable with that because I already know him. Like we've done
She was uncomfortable.
no, not
Made it loud and clearly known that she was uncomfortable. How can you have a woman hanging out of, doing?
no, I'm not talking about that.
Oh,
You
what she
didn't
was
know
talking
her.
about? Oh, okay.
I'm talking about women you were working with like in real estate. No, so then he went to this event and I wasn't there and it was like a circus Olay girl. She came out of the sky rolling down whatever they're like in the circus and stuff. And I'm like, what the heck is that? And yeah, and then I think I text you or when you got home or something.
No, you text me right then and there. Why are you posting that girl?
Yeah,
She's half naked.
why
Why
are
are
you
you
posting
posting?
her coming out the ceiling? Like,
So,
See, yeah,
but
come out.
we both didn't know her. But I'm talking about women that you are around in the
mhm,
beginning. When you started real estate, I was not uncomfortable because I know his personality.
Except for that one girl with that one thing.
90% of the business is women.
Hmm.
80% will not. So that's not even it because I will go to stuff and I wouldn't be uncomfortable. It was the one coming out the ceiling. I'm like, what is that?
mm.
But
So,
it
so
wasn't, yeah,
Cynthia, so um, every couple, you're not the first one, and Justin, you know that we
yeah,
all
yeah.
have our what we call our red flags, right?
Hmm.
Whether they are red flags or things that are off limits. For you and Justin, what are your red flags, and how do you navigate the sensitive topics? Because I can feel it in here right now at this very moment. And I want us to be practical. This is what goes
Yeah,
on
yeah,
in marriage. We're not faking it, guys. This is real.
yeah.
So there are red flags. We all have them, and it's normal for us to have them in couples. But so what do we do? Do we come together and say, babe, you did this, or you posted this and I felt uncomfortable about it, and he responded? How do you guys deal with navigating the no-nos?
We'll tell each other.
Good.
We normally would tell each other. Sometimes it's learning how when to have those conversations and how to say it.
There
No,
you
no,
go.
I got you though,
Mm-hmm,
right, Monty? Because it's
mm-hmm,
like for me, like I won't deal with that. Like that's what I'll say, right? Is like I that is not something I can deal with, like in my marriage. And it could be a whole bunch of different things. It could be the way she's treating me. But like, that's the red flag, right? And then there's other obvious red flags that's just like you just don't do those things as a married couple. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, definitely it's like we always, in order to talk about it, there has to be a situation where one of us is apologizing and then we talk about it. Because both of us, we respond sometimes. And that's what we're working on is not
mm-hmm,
responding.
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
Um,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I like
Yeah.
that. I love that. That's the honest truth, which is what this is all
Mhm.
about. Um, I know we've been here for a while, and I want to respect your guys' time. One last question that I have, because I always want to know if Justin and Cynthia, if both of you were stranded on a deserted island, right? What would you bring with you to make sure that you could survive, you and your spouse, just the two of you? What would you bring with you? If you could bring 3 items, what would they be and why?
that's good.
Um,
I would let her pack the bag and not worry about it, honestly. Man.
maybe a lighter,
A
lighter
lighter?
to make a fire.
Okay.
Oh my God, a knife to cut our food. Maybe, I don't know. Um, we can make everything else. We have water.
No, but we need a water filter to drink the water.
No, we do not.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the things on my list is one of those water filters where you could drink out of any, anywhere, no matter what type of water it is. We need that. That's
Mhm.
a for sure thing because what if the water where we're at is not good? You drinking it, you're gonna die.
I'm gonna die if I don't drink it.
We need a water
That's a good
filter.
answer.
Yeah, but whatever,
You're gonna die faster from dehydration in 3 days or 10 days
but
before you.
what if we're like really stranded and we could only drink the water like in the puddles?
You can drink water from trees, coconut.
Man, who says there's gonna be coconuts? Yeah,
I'm
Listen.
bringing fire, a fire knife, and
that's why y'all ask this question. 'Cause y'all
fire
know
knife,
this is something people gonna argue about.
fire, and no, yeah, fire, the lighter, because I don't have time to make the fire. The lighter, the knife to catch our food, and
So
you do the water filter. Go ahead.
I'll bring a
Okay,
water
so
filter.
you see what I just witnessed right here though. You guys didn't realize it. I'm a therapist, so I do this a lot. You guys showed me that this thing called compromise. Although she, argues to the fact that you're gonna bring a water filter, but at the end, when she goes back to the list, she added the water
Yeah.
filter.
Mm-hmm.
And that
That was
is what
deep.
marriage is all about.
Mhm.
We may not agree, but we can understand each other. We can understand each other's point of view and
Mhm.
why bringing that water filter is important to you. It will become important to her,
To her.
over
Yep.
time.
Yeah.
And that's what this little exercise was all about. It was never about the deserted island, but
Mhm.
how you compromise together, and you guys passed the test beautifully. So thank you. Thank you for that.
And I know
Because
Monday
I
had
compromise.
and I know Monday had his last questions, but I have a question for you both too. So, because I'm sure our listeners would I'm sure if they're anything like me, they're thinking that question. So, before I get out of here, let's talk about the bedroom.
Mhm. We could talk. I'm very comfortable talking about the
And,
bedroom.
and what's your secret to keeping the flame alive? Because it's been 10 years and you guys mentioned some of your highs and lows, and sometimes there were some very, very lows. So what's your secret to keeping things spicy and alive?
You should see my pages. I have like 2 pages on that question. I'll start. I'm very comfortable with talking about the bedroom. That I feel like that's not the only thing in marriage, but that's very important.
Mhm.
It's a really important topic.
Subject matter.
Even and even when we will go through it, even at the lowest or arguing, I think just keeping it, don't withhold from each other. That's one thing, like don't withhold. Women, I know women do this a lot because I hang with a lot of married women and we'll have these discussions and they're like, well, if he doesn't deserve it, then he won't get it. And it's like using punishment. And I said, if you keep punishing and doing that, and I'm not trying to interfere with your marriage, but you're going to create a whole nother problem.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Because he wants you, he desires you, and you're telling him no, and vice versa, both ways. And you're saying no to your spouse or significant other, you are opening the door for that desire to turn into something else or someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And you are pushing them in a different direction. Two, the enemy can lie too in our minds, like, oh, are they talking to someone else? Am I not attracted? They don't want me? I don't feel loved. I don't feel connected. Like that's our connection. Like, do not withhold. Do not push your spouse away or husband or whatever. Don't use. No matter what we went through, I would never punish him. Like, oh, you want to act like that today? You don't get none. Oh, don't touch me. Don't you? That is, for me, in our marriage, I've never done that. the whole time we've been married. I feel like our intimacy, the sex part and stuff, intimacy and connection has always been strong. We have great sex, I'll say it live. We connect great. And even the scripture, 1 Corinthians 7:5 talks about not withholding. If you guys agree, and then you can come back together, but don't withhold because of our lack of self-control. And it's not saying, oh, your husband or wife is going to run and go do something, but you can start in the mind. That can happen too, but in the mind, it starts in the mind, or pornography or whatever you're opening up a door that you do not want to open up. And how we keep the flame alive, it would be like I would get lingerie or heels out, and put music on, like just have fun, be comfortable, be open. Just be open with each other. Like God meant for sex to be beautiful, to be fun. I always tell him we're young, we are not old. Whatever you guys both agree with in the bedroom is what you guys agree on. Like that's between you, a husband and wife. That's between us. Like
do a class on this.
I know, because
Oh, we
like,
could definitely have you back.
both agree, both be on the same page. And I'm not talking about being forced to do something. That's off limits. You should never be uncomfortable. You should never be forced. But you should be open-minded. I always tell them, I'm like, we're young, and even when we get older, like, it's our responsibility to keep that alive, whether it's whatever. And asking him, what do you like? And asking me, or like, just I'm very interested. I'm very big and interested in that part. I don't know what he has to say, but yeah, I could talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say is she's absolutely right. With all of that, that's
Justin,
just not.
let me just ask you, okay, what do you bring to the bedroom? Because Justin is like, yeah, go ahead, baby, tell them.
I mean, let me just first say this. The bedroom isn't even a place you want to be if you're an ugly person. You know, like it don't matter how fun and spicy you make it. If you guys don't like each other at the moment, the sex doesn't matter. So for me, the sex is definitely secondary because it's if I'm not attracted to you as a person, if there's not that kinetic energy, when we're around each other, then the bedroom, like, what is it gonna do? So I mean, then when it comes to the bedroom though, definitely everything she said, you know what I'm saying? But I think, everything she said justifies it because, but I don't know. I never really, it's weird. I get like a little uncomfortable around that. And maybe it's because I'm always talking about social media and building your personal brand.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how to like break that down.
No, we
So I
we
guess
understand. We got you. So what I'm gathering though from listening to this is that as important as your sexual intimacy is between a husband and a wife, it is equally important to make sure that what we do outside of the bedroom is taken care of.
Yeah.
From understanding what you're saying is that because if that part is not done, then it does have an impact on your sexual relationship.
yes.
But at the same time, I hear
100%.
your wife is saying, though other parts of the relationship may not be working right, I'm not going to withhold myself for my husband.
Yeah.
You're
Okay,
absolutely
so
right.
I hear two
Yes.
different perspectives on this, and both of you, in your own way, have your own reason to think the way that you do, and that's okay. That's what, again, communication is important in a relationship so that the two of you can agree, okay, as far as our relationship is concerned, this is the way we're going to handle it, right?
Yeah.
So with this,
Because I think with every couple, as at some point when you do forgive each other, it's always makeup sex, which is great, because you love each other.
oh,
So
absolutely. I mean, I listen, in this podcast, I advertise sex as a playground. It is a
hello.
playground that God gave us, mankind, and the concept of marriage to enjoy each other for as much as we can. And so if it's a playground and the two of you can agree, today we're going to play this game, however you choose to play it, and that
Yeah.
in your marriage, it's up to you. And your wife articulate that very well. As long as the two of you agree what goes on in the bedroom is between the two of you. Guess what? It
Yeah.
is what it is. What might
Yeah.
work for one couple may not necessarily be good for another couple. And that's why
Yeah, true.
in marriage therapy or counseling, you never approach every situation the same way. Every couple is unique and they have their own way of dealing with whatever it is in their relationship. So I appreciate you guys. I really, really want to say how much that I enjoy your company tonight and to see Justin side by side with his beautiful wife tonight.
Yes.
It's breathtaking to me, and to see him content, right? To just be still and really enjoy the conversation with you guys. It was an amazing conversation. And on behalf of our listeners on Seeds of Love, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for being part of this of this platform tonight, Fabi.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to ask you both, where can, I know you said it earlier, Cynthia, but for our listeners, after such an amazing conversation, where can people get in touch with you guys? Please share your social media so our followers can follow you too. Our
Sure.
listeners can follow you.
Listen, you can find me on Instagram, on TikTok, Content Creating Realtor. That is my handle. Very straightforward. Helping real estate agents create content is what I do. There's a lot of new developments in my personal brand going into the new year. The people that I want to connect with, the people that I want to collaborate with and partner with in business. So you can find me at Content Creating Realtor. And if you're on YouTube, you can also go to Your Network is Your Net Worth. That is one word, no spaces. On YouTube / Your Network is Your Net Worth, and find my channel. We have over 1,800 subscribers. We are growing. We also have a dedicated Facebook page for Talbot Real Estate Group.
Yeah.
We have our YouTube channel for that, View Philly Homes PA, as well as Cyn Talbot Homes on all platforms, Instagram, TikTok, and you can find us together on places like here, the Seeds of Love podcast. Shout out to the Seeds of Love, baby. Listen, super excited to be here. But yeah, that's where you can find us. Our handle, Cyn Talbot Homes, Content Creating Realtor, as well as Just Blessed Media. But just go to Content Creating Realtor. You'll find everything else a lot easier. So, that's where you can find us, man.
Thank you so much, Justin. Thank you so much, Cynthia, and
Thank
to
you,
our
guys.
listeners. There you have
Shout
it.
out to them, man. Seeds of Love, baby. Y'all tuned in, tapped in to the greatest love podcast out there.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you guys so much.